Hello students, myself Hardik Patel from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. In today's session, we are going to continue with the complex number, and today's topic is the hyperbolic function and its formulas. Okay. Now first of all, we are defining simple circular function. We are aware of sine and cosine are circular functions. And we are aware of the Euler's formula for a complex number is e raised to I theta is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta, and e raised to minus I theta will be cos theta minus I sin theta. So if we are going to add these two, then you will get cos theta is equal to 1 upon 2 e raised to I theta plus e raised to minus I theta, and sin theta is equal to 1 upon 2I into e raised to I theta minus e raised to minus I theta. Correct? Now, if z is a complex number x plus iy, then cos z is equal to 1 upon 2 e raised to iz plus e raised to minus iz, and sin z is equal to 1 upon 2i e raised to iz minus e raised to minus iz. Okay, this is called the circular functions in a complex number, because here z is a complex number. Done. Now prove that sine inverse of z is equal to minus I into log iz plus under root of 1 minus z square, and find sine inverse of minus I. Okay, so we are starting with the solution. I am going to say that let sine inverse z is equal to y, and therefore z is equal to sine y. Okay, but sine is equal to nothing but 1 upon 2i into e raised to iy minus e raised to minus iy. Done. So multiply this opposite side. So you will get 2iz is equal to, I am going to write this as a e raised to iy minus 1 upon e raised to iy. So if we are going to take LCM and writing equation in a form of equal to 0, then you will get e raised to iy the whole square minus 2iz into e raised to iy minus 1 is equal to 0. Now this is the quadratic equation in a form of e raised to iy. If you are going to put e raised to iy is equal to something a, then you have a square minus 2iz minus 1 is equal to 0. So if you are going to solve it by delta, then a will be minus b, that is 2iz plus or minus under root b square of 2iz, that is minus 4z square, minus 4 into a into c, but a is 1 and c is minus 1, so minus minus plus 4 divided by 2 into 1. So that will give you 2iz plus or minus 4 common out, so 2 under root 1 minus z square divided by 2. So 2 will be cancelled out, and you will get iz plus or minus under root of 1 minus z square. Okay. Now we are going to consider only one root. So we are starting with a e raised to iy. A is your e raised to iy is iz plus under root 1 minus z square. Okay, 1 minus z square. And taking log both sides, that will give you iy is equal to log of iz plus under root of 1 minus z square. And dividing with I, so 1 upon I will be minus I. So minus I is equal to log iz plus under root of 1 minus z square. Okay, but y is nothing but it is your sine inverse of z, and that implies sine inverse of z is equal to minus I into log iz plus under root of 1 minus z square. Okay. Now you have to find out sine inverse of minus I. So z is equal to minus I, put it here, and that will give log minus I square plus under root of 1 minus I square. Correct? But minus I square is 1, and here it is minus minus plus 1, so this will be under root of 2. So this is the answer, minus I log 1 plus root 2. Okay, and this one is the answer of sine inverse of minus I. Now, same manner, second example, prove that tan inverse z is equal to I by 2 into log I plus z upon I minus z. Now, again starting with the same formula, we are going to start with an assumption. So, let tan inverse z is equal to y, and that will give you z is equal to, that will give you z is equal to tan y, but tan is your sine upon cos. And if you are going to put the values, then you will get e raised to I y minus e raised to minus I y divided by e raised to I y plus e raised to minus I y. Here you have I. This is the extra term. Okay, because 1 upon I is extra. Now what we are going to do, I am going to multiply this I here. So Iz is equal to e raised to I y minus e raised to minus I y upon e raised to I y plus e raised to minus I y. Here we required in a form of z, so instead of Iz, I am going to write this as z upon minus I. Okay, e raised to I y minus e raised to minus I y divided by e raised to I y plus e raised to minus I y. Now taking component and divided. And that will be z minus I upon z plus I. In numerator we are going to add this 2, in denominator we are going to subtract this 2. Same manner here, e raised to I y minus e raised to minus I y plus e raised to I y plus e raised to minus I y divided by e raised to I y minus e raised to minus I y minus e raised to I y plus e raised to minus I y. So here minus I y minus I y cancel out. Here plus I y plus I y cancel out. And we will have, that implies z minus I upon z plus I is equal to 2 e raised to I y upon minus 2 e raised to minus I y. So 2 cancel out, and we are going to write down this as a minus e raised to 2 I y. Correct? Now multiply this minus here, and that will give e raised to 2 I y is equal to I minus z upon I plus z. And that will give you, if you are going to take a log, then I y, that will be a, I y will be a log I minus z upon I plus z. And if you are writing this, then 1 upon I, that will be a minus I log I minus z upon I plus z. Okay? Done? Sorry, 2I y. So I by 2. But if you have to remove minus, then using the property of log, that will give you, and y is your tan inverse of z, is I by 2 into log I plus z upon I minus z, because by property of log. Then now we are going with a hyperbolic function. If z is any complex number, then cos hyperbolic z is e raised to z plus e raised to minus z divided by 2, and sin hyperbolic z is e raised to z minus e raised to minus z divided by 2. And using this 2, we can define all other hyperbolic functions, such as tan is sine upon cos, cosec is 1 upon sine, sec is 1 upon cos, cot is 1 upon tan. Note that sine hyperbolic of minus z is equal to minus times sine hyperbolic z, and cos hyperbolic of minus z is cos hyperbolic of z. Okay, that means sine hyperbolic is odd function and cos hyperbolic is even function, same as we have in the circular function. Relation between circular and hyperbolic function. Sine of Iz is equal to I sine hyperbolic z. Now it is very simple. you can start with either side. I am starting with sin z is equal to 1 upon 2i into e raised to iz minus e raised to minus iz, correct? And you are replacing z by iz. So sin of iz will be 1 upon 2i into e raised to I into I, that is I square z, minus e raised to minus I square z, correct? And that will give you 1 upon 2i into e raised to minus z minus e raised to plus z, because I square is minus 1, so this is going to be minus z and this is going to be minus minus plus. So minus common out and you will get minus 1 upon 2i into e raised to z minus e raised to minus z. So minus 1 is I square and that will give you I upon I into e raised to z minus e raised to minus z upon 2. But this is nothing but this is a hyperbolic function. So this is sine hyperbolic of z. Okay. So that means sine of iz is equal to I sine hyperbolic of z. Or you can say that sine hyperbolic of z is equal to minus I sine into iz. Okay. Same manner, the relation between cos and cos hyperbolic. So cos iz is equal to cos hyperbolic z. So if you are starting with a solution, then you will aware of cos z is e raised to iz plus e raised to minus iz divided by 2. Now replace z by iz and that will be a e raised to iz into I, that means you have e raised to I square z plus e raised to minus I square z divided by 2. But I square is minus 1, so you will have e raised to minus z plus e raised to plus z by 2. Now since it is addition, so this and this both are same, as addition is commutative, so this is nothing but it is a cos hyperbolic. Okay, so this is cos hyperbolic z. Now tan iz is equal to I tan hyperbolic z, or you can say that tan hyperbolic z is equal to minus I tan iz. So we are starting with again the definition of tan iz is equal to sin iz upon cos iz. And since we have already obtained that sin iz is I sin hyperbolic z and cos iz is cos hyperbolic z. So that will directly give you I tan hyperbolic z. And if you have to put the value in a definition of tan z, then also you will get the same. Now this is your tan iz, so dividing it with I, so that will give you tan hyperbolic z is 1 upon I into tan iz, and 1 upon I is nothing but it is minus I tan iz. So both the relations we have. Now we are going on to the real and imaginary parts. Okay, so to find the real and imaginary parts of any complex number, we are going to use this formula. We are aware of sin alpha plus beta is sin alpha cos beta plus cos alpha sin beta, and sin alpha minus beta is sin alpha cos beta minus cos alpha sin beta. So here we have used it, but cos iy is cos hyperbolic y and sin iy is I sin hyperbolic y. So that will give you the real and imaginary part. Same thing we have done for cos, same thing we have done for tan. Now in tan, what we have done is we have multiplied with the conjugate of denominator. So if you are going to multiply with a conjugate of denominator, then the denominator is simplified in the form of cos 2x plus cos 2iy, and cos 2iy is nothing but cos hyperbolic 2y. Okay. Same manner, sin hyperbolic, if you are doing vice versa, sin hyperbolic of x plus iy, then also the method is same. Okay, cos hyperbolic and tan hyperbolic. So we are going to use this formula whenever required. Same manner, the hyperbolic identities, cos hyperbolic square z minus sin hyperbolic square z is 1. Cot hyperbolic square minus cosec hyperbolic square is 1. And sec hyperbolic square plus tan hyperbolic square is 1. Okay, Basically, it is very easy to obtain. You are aware of sin square plus cos square is 1, correct? If you are replacing z by iz, then also you have the same thing. So sin square iz plus cos square iz is equal to 1. So, but sin iz is I sin hyperbolic z and cos iz is cos hyperbolic z, correct? So, if you are going to square, then sin is going to be negative. So, you will have cos hyperbolic square z minus sin hyperbolic square z is equal to 1. Okay. Same manner, sin hyperbolic 2z is 2 sin hyperbolic z plus cos hyperbolic z, and cos hyperbolic 2z is cos hyperbolic square z plus sin hyperbolic square z. That means 2 hyperbolic square z minus 1, or you can write down 1 plus 2 sin hyperbolic square. Now, formulas of the hyperbolic functions. These are the formulas for tan hyperbolic 2z is 2 tan hyperbolic upon 1 plus tan square, sin 3 sin hyperbolic 3z is 3 sin hyperbolic plus 4 sin hyperbolic cube. Cos hyperbolic is equal to 4 cos hyperbolic cube minus 3 cos hyperbolic. Same manner, tan is 3 tan hyperbolic plus tan cube hyperbolic upon 1 plus 3 tan hyperbolic square. And sin hyperbolic alpha plus beta has a formula this. Same manner, these are, but we do not require all of them, we require few of them. Okay. Now, inverse hyperbolic function. First of all, if sin hyperbolic u is equal to x, then u is equal to sin hyperbolic inverse x, and here x is real, so we are defining the inverse hyperbolic function for real numbers. Same manner you can define for cos hyperbolic, tan hyperbolic, cot hyperbolic inverse, sec hyperbolic inverse, and cosec hyperbolic inverse. Okay, but same thing you can define for complex also, that we are going to discuss later. First, prove that sin hyperbolic inverse x is equal to this. Again, we are starting with a solution. What you have is, I am starting with let sin hyperbolic inverse x is equal to y, and that will give x is equal to sin hyperbolic y. But sin hyperbolic y is e raised to y minus e raised to minus y upon 2, and that will give you 2x is equal to e raised to y minus 1 upon e raised to y. Multiplying with e raised to y and taking equation writing in a form of equal to 0, so you will get e raised to y into e raised to y, that is e raised to 2y, minus 2x e raised to y minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay. Again, e raised to y is something t, then this is t square minus 2x t minus 1. And if you are aware of, this is a quadratic equation, so we are going to solve it by delta. So t will be minus b, so minus minus plus 2x, plus or minus under root b square, that is 4x square, minus 4 into a into c, that means minus minus plus 4, divided by 2. Okay. Now, here what we will have, x plus or minus x square plus 1. Y 4 common out, and that will give you 2. So 2 will be cancelled out from numerator and denominator. Now t is nothing but, you have taken t is equal to e raised to y. So e raised to y is equal to x plus or minus under root x square plus 1. Now see, if you are aware of simple logic, that x square is less than x square plus 1. So x is less than root of x square plus 1. And if you are taking the subtraction, then this is going to be negative. But e raised to y is never going to be negative. And that's why we are considering only the positive part. So e raised to y is equal to x plus under root of x square plus 1. And therefore y is equal to log of x plus under root of x square plus 1. So please remember, since this is negative, that's why we have considered only positive. The same thing we are going to do for cos hyperbolic inverse. So again, let cos hyperbolic inverse is equal to y, and that will give you x is equal to cos hyperbolic y, and that will give e raised to y plus e raised to minus y upon 2, and if you are multiplying, then you will get 2x e raised to y is equal to e raised to y the whole square plus 1. Okay, and that will give you e raised to y is equal to t, then we get t square minus 2x t plus 1 is equal to 0. Done? Now, basically, if this is a quadratic equation, so if you are going to find t, then t is equal to minus b plus or minus under root b square minus 4 into ac divided by 2. Again, here you get x plus or minus under root x square minus 1. Correct? This is your e raised to y. And again, we are going to take the positive part, e raised to y. Now here we have taken the positive part, as your x is always greater than 1, because cos hyperbolic inverse, cos hyperbolic x has a range from 1 to infinity. Okay, it is great. It is not going to be a less than 1. The value of x is or y is always going to be a greater than 1. That's why we have taken the positive part only. Now, because if you are taking negative, then this will be a in complex form. Taking log both sides, that will give y is equal to log x plus under root of x square minus 1. And y is nothing but that is your cos hyperbolic inverse. So cos hyperbolic inverse x is log x plus under root of x square minus 1. Done? Same thing we are going to do for a tan hyperbolic inverse. So let tan hyperbolic inverse x is equal to y, and that will give x is equal to tan hyperbolic y. So x is equal to e raised to y minus e raised to minus y upon e raised to y plus e raised to minus y. Okay, and that will give you, if you have, we have to take a component of division rule. So taking component of and dividend rule, and that will give you x plus 1 upon x minus 1 is equal to e raised to y minus e raised to minus y plus e raised to y plus e raised to minus y divided by e raised to y minus e raised to minus y minus e raised to y minus e raised to minus y, and that will give you x plus 1 upon x minus 1 is equal to e raised to y cancel out, and you will get 2 e raised to y upon minus 2 e raised to minus y. So 2 will be cancelled out, and we will get minus e raised to 2y. Correct? Multiply minus opposite side, and that will give you 1 plus x upon 1 minus x. So taking log both sides, so you will get 2y is equal to log 1 plus x upon 1 minus x, and that implies y is equal to 1 upon 2 log 1 plus x upon 1 minus x. But y is your tan hyperbolic inverse. So tan hyperbolic inverse x is equal to 1 upon. So these are the topics which we have covered in today's session. So if you have any doubt or any query regarding these topics, then please feel free to contact me. Thank you so much for watching.